It is 1:28 in the morning on Sunday, June 8th. Even though it is Sunday, I'm technically going to count it for yesterday because I still need to make up a day from when I crossed the international date line. I forgot to do it when I crossed back over a couple of days ago because I was so tired from all the travel. Like a 14-hour plane flight is a long flight and you don't sleep a lot. But I'm really used to just sitting around doing nothing. Just played video games, watched a couple of movies, so it was pretty chill for me. Slept only 5 hours, but I am back home. I am only home for tonight, and I'm leaving around mid-morning tomorrow. So I'm going to go to see my grandmother, because she's halfway, or a little bit, actually halfway, to the airport I'm flying out of. And so I'm going to play some golf with her as a warm-up round, just say hi. I ordered some golf clubs for Christmas/birthday gifts, and they didn't arrive in time, even though I thought they were supposed to arrive, so I'm a little bit annoyed because I have a pretty big gap between my pitching wedge, and I only have a 56, and I'm using my grandfather's old 56, because I really don't actually get a lot of new clubs. So I was really excited, and they didn't ship in time, or well, they haven't even shipped yet. So I'm a little bit frustrated about that. I'm going to have to play with friends and see if I can borrow one of my other friends' wedges when I can, just because I mean, 43 degree to 56 degree is a lot when you think about it in golf terms. But yeah. Now, I know it's 8 days into June, but now is the time to do the recap of May. And May was just a lot of flying. Like, really a lot of flying. I flew out to one of my friends for college, hang out. I already talked about that. I got really sick during that, and it was kind of sucky for me. It was fun playing golf, but I was not 100%. It was really uncomfortable feeling-wise. And then I got super delayed, had to actually do a lot of really annoying flights back and getting delayed, missing a lot of school. Finals, I got my grades back. They weren't the grades that I was hoping for. They are still really good for metrics that other people probably have. But for me, I needed to get all straight A's because I already talked about is that I didn't get into a program because of my grades, even though they were stellar grades for what people are doing, especially for the course load that I was doing. And getting worse grades now is just really difficult to process. But, I mean, outside of just school, that one trip, finals, the other thing was this family vacation, and I've talked about it enough already. And it's very frustrating for me to do these family vacations because the bottom line is that I don't really like hanging out with my family for extended periods of time. I can do 3 days, maybe, non-stop interacting, and then I'm done. And I need to be gone for much longer than I've already been with them. Or I can do 5 hours a day, but then not interacting with them at all for the rest of the time. And again, I'll feel fine after that, but I struggled heavily because we don't have the same personalities. And I guess that's a little bit abstract and kind of non-specific because people can have different personalities. Like, I mean, my best friends from boarding school all have extremely different personalities, but yet we get along. And that's because we understand each other and what we need. And the things that we do get along with and do have the same personalities are the important things. Like, we all love playing video games. We have that same, wanting to be alone. The biggest thing that I can always think of, especially in regard to this trip, was that when I'm with a friend, I can sit in their room for an hour and not have a conversation with them and have no obligation to have a conversation with them. That's what good friends are. I would go, when I was senior year of boarding school, I would go into my friend's room, do homework for like 3 hours while he does homework, not speak a single word, and then I would walk out, and then an hour later we would go get dinner. That's just what we did. There was no obligation for entertainment. There was no obligation for conversation that wasn't wanted. Because we both knew that we just really didn't want to talk, but it was nice to be around somebody. And I can't get that with family because there's an obligation to entertain. And it's really frustrating because, again, I get maybe 3 hours of wanting to maybe talk with them a day. And that's even stretching them to that point. And then it's done. I don't want to talk anymore. I need to recharge. I need to stop talking. But they keep wanting to go and go and go because they don't understand how I work and how very difficult it is for me to just be around people for long, long periods of time. And especially people who want to interact at all times. So they don't understand that and they push back heavily about it. They push back about the things I enjoy. Like this vacation, it felt like I had no say in whatever was happening. I got to pick one restaurant. It was a really good Japanese restaurant. I actually got to practice a little bit of my Japanese, which was very, very embarrassing, but it was pretty cool. And the food was amazing. But that was the I guess, the happiest I was because I was super excited to do something that I wanted to do. There are other times where I was really having a good time, but that was because I could zone out and essentially tunnel vision myself into taking pictures, and I would just take pictures of scenery. Like I have an Insta post that's literally just pictures of mountains, and it has, I guess, my sister in one of them, but it's a really cool photo, and I really wish it wasn't just my sister. I wish it was me because it's so cool. It has like a really good David and Goliath feeling. It's awesome. But because she's just there and the mountains in the background, so cool. But I can disassociate and focus on the things that I enjoy in that scenario because I can, when I'm taking a photo, there's an obligation of them to not talk to me because I'm focused on something else. And they understand that. And I wish that they understood that further. Like the thing that annoyed me the most is that I'll be on my phone just doing nothing. And my dad comes in and he goes, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "I'm not watching anything. I'm just scrolling through the internet." And he's like, "What are you scrolling through?" And I'm like, and I had to tell him eventually, it's like, if I'm doing this, every single time we have this conversation, it's the exact same thing. I ignore you because I don't want to talk right now, so I pull out my phone and focus on something else to show that I don't want to talk to anybody right now. And then they try and come in, and then he gets mad at me for not wanting to talk to him. And I don't know what to say to him because I'm sorry that I don't want to talk to you. That's just how I am. That's how I'm built. And if you don't accept that, then that's your fault. And it sucks so much feeling this way because I hate disliking being around family because they have provided everything that I needed up to this moment. They sent me on I would say like an all-expensive paid vacation, but a family vacation where I didn't have to pay out of my own money. And it was an insane vacation. Like I traveled halfway across the world essentially. And I didn't enjoy it that much. There are moments, yes, that were amazing. But I had more fun when I just went out to a rural place in the country at a random college I'd never been to. And being sick the entire time, significantly more. Like even though I felt like my stomach was about to explode, my stomach was contorting and twisting upon itself and just feeling like the worst I've felt in years. But it was significantly more fun overall than this vacation. I hate feeling that way because it makes me feel guilty that I'm not appreciating what's going on. I don't appreciate my family. But they make me feel guilty about not liking the things that they do. They make me feel guilty that I don't want to do things. That is my fault for not liking it. And I keep getting trapped in this area where I don't want to do these things. But they make me feel like I'm the one ruining everything because I don't like it. That I'd rather just be alone. And I'd rather just not go to a geothermal spa. Like, I don't want to do that. That's something that I've expressed previously that I don't want to do. Yet they force me to do that. And then they get mad at me when I'm like, hey, I don't want to do this. They get mad at me. They're like, yo, you just want to get out of this because you it's frustrating because they make me feel bad about my dislikes. They make me feel bad about who I am as a person and the way I work because it's not like them. And that just like tension and fighting, like, and that like silent conversations that happen every single time just makes hanging out with them not fun. Because they don't recognize that they don't understand who I am. Like, I think like the sentence that I keep thinking was like, I hate that I have to act around them. And I've had that struggle before. I've talked about how in high school, I had to essentially separate my personality between the academic side, where I was hanging out with more of my quote-unquote nerdy friends, and then I would go play hockey, and I would have to switch personalities and be more the hockey type. And I never was able to have just who I am. There was never a moment where I was like, this is who I am, because it was split between the people I was hanging out with. That only really got fixed once I got into boarding school and onto college, where I was hanging out with people who are academically high achieving, they're motivated in that area, but also we played high level hockey and we're going places. Like, my best friend is playing D1. Like, I could find myself there, but as I'm getting older and older, I have to change my personality around my parents much more than I've ever had to. I have to act that they think they expect me to have fun. They expect me to show that I'm having fun, to show gratitude when I'm just not. They make me feel like I have to become a different person when I hang out with them for longer than whatever, because they don't believe that the person that I am is what I should be. And it's so frustrating, and I can't say those things to them. I can't say, hey, I don't want to do this. I don't like doing this. Stop making me do this. I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm just going to go be alone. Because then it hurts their feelings, and then they make me feel bad about it. I feel bad about it because I don't want to hurt people's feelings. So I let them be mean to me. I let them do things that I don't like, and to make me feel uncomfortable, make me feel not good inside, have the most anxiety I've ever felt just kind of crappy altogether being around them for extended periods of time, because I don't want to say, hey, I just can't do this anymore. And then even if I was able to say, I can't do this anymore, I don't want to do this, I'm uncomfortable doing this, we're not doing this, they don't believe me. They say that I'm just making an excuse because you're selfish. They're like, you're selfish and you just want to do anything. We accommodate you all the time. And I'm like, no, you don't. You do not make me feel like I am a real person. You make me feel like I'm obligated to do everything you want to do. When I'm at a stage in my life where I don't have to. Like, it doesn't take a genius to understand why I stay up until 3 a.m. almost every night when I'm at home. To understand that is the only time that I am unequivocally alone. There is nobody around. They're asleep. Nobody's supposed to be awake. So that I can be me. I can play games with my friends. I can watch shows that I would find embarrassing to watch around them. I get to be me when I'm alone. I get to be me when I'm with my friends. I get to be me when I'm not with them. And then they rail on me saying, you're a bad person for staying up that late. You're a bad person for sleeping that much. You're a bad person for doing all that at night and snacking and leaving your trash everywhere. And I'm like, I don't have trash. Sure, I maybe leave a couple of cans of Spindrift on my desk. But I don't do that. Everything that they dislike about me is a result of them. I stay up late. I don't want to talk to you because I've been talking to you for forever at this point. They get mad at me because I'm on my phone in the car and I'm not talking to them, yet I've been talking to them straight for 2 weeks. It doesn't make sense. And like, maybe they're like, oh, you relaxed yesterday. I'm like, no, I didn't. I relaxed, yes, for maybe from 5 p.m. to the night, but I was still with my sister in a hotel room. That's not relaxing. Again, like, I can't relax fully, and I've talked about this when it comes to roommate situations and all this, and I've talked about my struggles with them about how these roommates, and I can't relax with people in the room, but then they can't grasp that concept when it comes to family. They are not an exception. I do not care. They are not an exception. They are the same type of anxiety-inducing, hovering, like, looking over my shoulder as roommates are. Again, the only people that I can do that around are my close friends, the hockey teams, the people that I've been with and around who let me know that they like who I am as a person. And they don't try and make me conform to what they think I should be. For every situation, the way I act, the way I talk, the way I hold myself, the way I do my work, the way I relax. They don't dictate my life like that because they think that I am doing things wrong and that I am wrong doing them. And it's frustrating. And it's so frustrating, especially in a time where it's probably the hardest spring of my life. And I keep bringing it up, but yes, it has been the hardest. And they are like acknowledging that, oh, we recognize this has been a hard time for you. I'm like, then do something about it. You recognize that it's a hard time and you do the same things, and you can tell that I'm obviously annoyed and irritated by the things that you're doing, and I can't openly express that because then you make me feel like a crappy person. So then you change something. You do something to make me feel better. I see my sister getting all the support that she needs, but where's my support? The support that I need is to be alone and to do things that I want to do, but yet you see that as the wrong answer, but you are not me. You cannot dictate how to make me feel good. And it's very difficult. So when I go away for this week with friends, where I won't be talking again for a while, I get to be myself for a bit. I'll come back, and I'm like going to be doing a lot of landscaping around the house and doing a lot of projects for my parents, physical labor. But I got to tell them that I will do this work for you. But once that work is over, you have nothing on me. You cannot tell me what to do. You cannot say, hey, you're going to watch this movie with me, because I've just been doing stuff for you this entire time. I will need my space. I will need my space to figure it out. I just need space where I have no obligation to entertain anybody. I have no obligation to talk to somebody. If I want to talk to somebody, I want to talk to somebody. But if I don't, and I make that very clear, stop talking to me. I feel like that's pretty clear. But then they get their feelings hurt that I don't want to talk to them. I'm like, no, this is not a vendetta against you. This is just me needing my social battery to be recharged. And if they don't believe in social battery, they don't understand that I get just burnt out of conversation and around people. I got burnt out on this vacation because I just was sick of being there. I hate that I feel this way, because I see everybody else have these great relationships with their parents, and yet I can't seem to find a connection anymore. I'm such a different person from them that I just don't like being around them for that long. It's like that person in class that you don't like, but then you get forced to be in a group project with them. And you can handle maybe the first 10 minutes, but after that hour, they get like, all right, this is kind of weird. That's what I am. I can handle small amounts, and it's fun in small amounts. Like, I'm playing golf with my mother and my grandmother tomorrow. That's a small amount, and I can deal with that. But once that's over, I got to do my own thing. I don't want to talk to them Actually, my grandmother I'm fine with because I don't see her anymore as much. And she's pretty chill. She'll literally just be like, all right, I'm going to go over in this room. Don't talk to me. I'm going to read. And I respect that. That is the vibe that I need. She just goes up and leaves. She does whatever she wants, whenever she wants. She has nobody that can tell her what she's going to do. And I love that of her. And it's so nice to be around somebody that is like that. And I love my grandmother's personality. There are some things, because I'm pretty sure she has undiagnosed OCD from when she's a child, knowing that she's very old at this point, and back then there weren't really any diagnoses of anything. So she does a lot of public weeding, and we have to tell her that that's not a thing. You don't go into the window boxes of somebody else's house and start weeding them, but I can't really fault her on that. But I like that she can just do what she wants and doesn't care what anybody else thinks. And I wish I could just be like that. I can just be like, all right, I'm leaving. And I do that. I definitely do that. I say, all right, I'm going to the basement. I'm not going to be back up. If you want to say goodnight, say goodnight. But then parents come down and like, oh, keep the door open. I'm like, no, I'm shutting the door. I want to be alone. That's why I came down to the basement. And I'm just rambling on. And so, again, this whole thing was supposed to be a review of May. And it's just complaining about parents. And this is from a very privileged standpoint, because I'm able to have these opportunities to go places, to do things. And it may sound that I'm ungrateful, and I'm not ungrateful. I've expressed very much so that I am happy that I have these opportunities, that I'm very privileged. Yet it's very difficult for me to be excited about these things when every time that they happen, I end up having a bad time. I'm going to say the same thing that I said a little bit ago. My parents and family provide everything that I need except emotional needs. They are not those people. I can't tell them my problems. I don't think they deserve to hear my problems, because half of the reasons that I have these problems are because of them. Why am I angry right now? It's because you're around. Why am I irritated? Because you keep talking to me when I don't want you to talk to me. Why don't you seem interested? Because I'm tired. Because I am been up since 7 a.m. doing something that you wanted to do, and you don't let me do what I want to do at the end of the day. They are perfect parents, but they are perfect for somebody else. Just not for me.